Hello. If you can hear me loud and clear, please say something in the chat. And just say something anyway. Without saying the word something. Say words. Type things. Say hi. Say GM. Say GN. Say type in the chat. And hit the like button because we fucking need it. Because it's been a long time since I've done a live stream. Oh, here we go. Trading view on. Why is trading view not on? Idiot, hold on. Got to switch it to this, right? There we go. Hey. Okay. Hi guys. Long time no see. I hope you're all doing very well. And yeah, thought I would get back into streaming again. I'm going to be doing this a lot more regularly. Hopefully for the rest of the oh, tickly throat. Hopefully for the next like few weeks or so. Because I'm properly in work mode and yeah, trading, working on a lot of stuff. Got some things on the go. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to join me more often. And all of you here, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so out of practice. But you get the idea. Right, who do we have in the chat? We got Kalechi Agucha. First, yes. Cons. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Jim Capsulis, hello. Ashraf, long time no see. Yes. Shorty, GM. Okay. Jam B is here. All right. What should we discuss? What could we talk about? Lots of things. What do you guys want to discuss? Is there anything specific that we want to go over today? Do you want a general overview of everything that's going on? Do you want me to talk about Bitcoin? Do you want me to talk about the NQ? I've been playing around with some beautiful things lately on the NASDAQ. It's been super sexy. We got some, like, these trades were more just study trades, working on new strategies, working on new stuff to try and make the most of the volatility that we've had recently. And yeah, not so bothered on the higher time frames and what's going on and all of that kind of stuff. But we've been discussing this in quite a lot of depth, and we've got some new strategies coming out, being worked on. Like every trade that I've basically been talking about today, including some like crazy scalps that was like 7 for 7 earlier on during some sideways chop, 7 wins, plus all of these like more day trade swing trades have all been really nice. Bitcoin has been interesting to say the least, but actually still kind of technical and still quite nice. And yeah, altcoins are just being altcoins. I'm not particularly interested in them. I've been a bit more just working on other stuff and yeah, doing that kind of thing. Kalechi, Fartcoin, please. Entry TP, stop loss. Well, what we can do, because of course we've got New York Open coming up soon. So you can take a look at that from an actual like trading, see if we can get some paper trades done. Because mainly what I'm doing at the moment is paper trading, back testing, and figuring things out, because these are uncharted territory we're in right now. Not kind of conditions that any of us have really experienced before, apart from those few days during COVID. And yeah, it's a good time to be learning and a good time to be adapting. Do you chop scalp BTC or only NQ? Only NQ. Only NQ. Bitcoin's just not, like, the thing with Bitcoin is you need like a basically like a 0.5% move in order to be profitable when you take fees into account and when you do all of this kind of stuff, because the exchanges aren't very great and it's not the most liquid asset in the world, as we know. So yeah, NQ's been a lot better, and this is what I mean by the chop trading is internet. I'm streaming, but my chart's not loading. There we go. Chop trading. These little sideways ranges. And believe it or not, there are 7 different trades that could have been taken within this, like, from 11:56 UTC up to 12:30 UTC. So 7 different trades within a 30-minute time period. Which is stuff that I really like to do when price is just in no man's land and doing some randomness. So we'll have a look at NQ and we'll see what happens around the open there. My charts are hella messy right now because I've been just back and forth between creating educational content and back testing things and just explaining things within chat for the crew, coming up with new ideas, and actually trying to trade myself. So you have to bear with me because everything's just all over the place right now. But yeah, it's all good. I'm going to have a beer. It's the first beer I've drunk since the middle of March. I've been very healthy recently. Very healthy. But I wanted a beer tonight. So I'm having a beer tonight. I want to just talk more. TradingView has been bugging recently. Yeah. It has. What are people's thoughts on, oh my god, bright screen. So if anyone's been following me on X and on the Discord, what are people's thoughts on like these lighter chart printable infographic type of things that I've been posting recently? I think they look really nice. That's not what I wanted to paste in here. Copy image. Will this let me copy it into here, or is it too big? No, too big. But these like infographic-y kind of things and the white charts look pretty cool, right? So I've been playing around with these. Anyway, as Kalechi's the only one that's in here, I have never traded Fartcoin. I've not looked at a Fartcoin chart, and this will be a first for me. I've heard about it many times, but I've never traded it or charted it or done anything like that. What's the earliest? Oh, I have charted it. I have a gap. that's all I got. That would have been a really nice little trade to go long on this recently. This little inverse head and shoulders. Retail shitcoin TA. Look at that. Super clean. So you had this like this inverse head and shoulders type of thing playing out. Shoulder, head, shoulder. You had this range, this nice like rounded bottom, lower high. This came back into a daily OB, right? You had no imbalance left lower. You hit this order block. It won't be around the 618. That would have been nicer, but that's almost, that looks like it's maybe a 50% correction. Oh, it was the 618. Golden pocket, 618. Continuation to the negative, or the negative 618. So just measured move. Bang, bang. How technical. How very nice. Why does every chart I open have a Tesla? Weird. Yeah, that would have been a really good long. I bet this was like anchored VWAP from here as well, from these lows. Hey! I bet you also had probably not a 50 EMA, that's probably too far down, but maybe like a 21-day EMA might have been curving back up. Moving averages aren't going to load? No, they don't want to. It's because there's not even 50 days or... Just put a 21 on there. Maybe that would have roughly... And it was holding it down, you break it, and then you're holding it as support. Did anyone trade this recently? That's actually like... to me looks quite technical. For this particular move, if you've been long, like let's say from like 38 cents, if you happen to take it, it's not, again, like I've never looked at this, but if you did happen to be long from about 38 cents, now would be the time to be taking profit, because that is the one-to-one. So if you're going to go like boom, 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 I mean, you're beyond that, but then measured move, you go into the 618 and then you extend onto the negative 618. Very clean. Maybe you got some high time frame levels here as well. You had a little weekly gap that was filled. Nothing on the monthly. You did hit an untapped daily level. Hey, that's quite a nice chart. So that would have been the setup, right? Just buying in here. Stop at the lows. Take it to the highs. And you're there. The narrative basically of Fartcoin is that hot air goes up. It does indeed. But it wasn't really going up for most of this year, but it is now. What do all the color candles mean? These are just high volume candles. So relative volume. So whenever you get volume that's like kind of significantly above average, then it gives me a nice like bright candle to look at. It's just a good way of knowing when there's kind of intent going on when you're looking at something that, and if you look at this like clearly, like, all right, we put in a low, boom, buy a step in, buy a step in, buy a step in, and for this whole downtrend. And it's interesting where you get this chop. Just it signifies like important levels, important stuff. See top, high volume, obviously, because it's going to be a top. And then you're looking at this trend, and this to me, all right, you've had like these consistent like green candles have been relatively high volume, and the volume is less today. Still a long way to go today, of course. So it could end up shading it. And but therefore you're looking at maybe a loss of momentum here. And it quite often ties in with stuff like an RSI or whatever. It is super buggy. Trading view. Buggy. Very slow. But yeah, nice. What's Bitcoin doing at the moment? What's the NQ doing at the moment? Look, this fucking... Oh, you can't even see it. Poor signal means delays. Leave the woodland for flawless updates. Yeah. I'm not in the woodlands, but whatever. Maybe I've got too many tabs open. I think that's probably what it is. I've got too many trading view tabs open. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trading view tabs open. Some of them are different colors. Blind G. Some of them are macro. Some of them are small things. Some of them are this kind of shit. Let's close some out. I don't need all of this crap. We don't need to be talking about all of this. Save my internet. Luke is back. What is this video? Luke is back. Sammy's the bottom. Yes. Yeah, maybe. Regardless of whether it's the bottom or not, it's a time where things are getting interesting again. And for the last few months, I've just been like, I'm just going to let this play out and just allow the market to do what it was. I'm not really too bothered about getting involved. But now I want to be involved. So there you have it. Ragdogs ME, Luxan looking fresh. Thank you. I had a shave. I shaved my beard off for the first time, I think, since COVID. I'm going to grow it back because I don't like how I look. There's also a music festival going on over the road from me. It's very noisy. I don't know if you can hear it in the background over the music. Actually, let me just close the window. That's better. Okay. So we've got 10 minutes to go until this open. I don't want to lose all these annotations. Let's lose this. This. We'll keep the positions on the chart. I can start to explain the thought process for a lot of these trades later on. Oh shit, I said let's keep the trades. Those the long, the short, the chop. We got some more chop here, another long. That was this one. Boop, boop, boom. Let's await the session open. I'll set an alert down here. because London lows look likely to be taken. Bitcoin's holding up quite well, considering look at Bitcoin on a 5 minute. Look at the NQ on a 5 minute. Bitcoin's just been up. NQ's been sideways. But I tweeted about this as well. Expecting a ton of inside days basically for the next few weeks. So we had this like really crazy candle, inside day yesterday, not breaking above the high, obviously not breaking below the low. Similar thing today. There's space for this to run into lower. So taking out previous day lows would be interesting. Not necessarily expecting a break above the highs just yet. Don't know what all that's about. Oh, is that a trade setup? What is this? No idea. Oh, that was the limit down. Yeah, we can go lower. We can certainly go a little bit lower. ETH. As I said, my charts are all over the place. This Tesla thing's popped back up again. Why do all these charts have a Tesla? Get rid of that. Let's go on that one. There it is again. There it is again. Ah! Don't want to look at that one. TPO. I'm all over the place. $2,000 ticks. It's too small. The volatility is crazy. 5. That's better. Guys, why aren't you talking? Everyone that's here is oh, I only need to get back to streaming. There's only 37 people here, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining again after like, what is it, like at least a month since my last stream. But please do talk in the chat, because I've forgotten how to stream. I've forgotten how to talk. I've forgotten like everything that I used to do. You're just looking at my face. Do I look younger without the facial hair? This is why I needed a beer today. Because I'm like, shit, I haven't streamed for such a long time. I don't know what I'm doing. It's so different to trading rooms, because during trading rooms, I'm like, we kind of have a process. We have a thought process behind it. It's a little bit more serious. But yeah, on streams, I'm just no idea what's going on. Ask me some questions. And I'm going to grab the other beer. Just like ask me shit in the chat, because that's what I'm going to do. Okay? And then we'll watch the New York Open. Okay. Shorty, yeah, I wanted to say you look better than London days. Thank you. I'm almost a year older now than the London days. It's mad, right? I've been traveling 7 months already. I really need a haircut. 6:30 a.m. here. Wow. Is that 6:30 a.m.? Must be East Coast, USA. Flora, how's the trip so far? Very, very good. Very good. But I just, like, it's so hard. It's so hard to find balance between, like, traveling around and working. So this is the first time really since November that I've kind of stopped. I'm just in one place for the next month, and that's how it's going to be now. I think I've done enough of like intense traveling all the time, and I'm just going to be basing myself for like 1, 2, 3 months in various places. And whoa, fireworks! Wow! Hold on, I've got to get a video of this. Wait. This is so cool. For those of you who didn't hear me say earlier, there is a big music festival going on, like right outside my window. And yesterday they were setting it up, and there was a huge thunderstorm, and the stage was just getting slammed with lightning like the whole night. And now it's a really, really lovely evening. And there's this big festival going on. I can hear it, I can see it from my window. It's kind of cool. Some like dance music thing, Hardwell, whoever that is. Some like type of shit. Anyway, yeah. So I'm slowing down for a bit, basing myself in various places for a while. It is New York Open, so let's just have this on the chart, and if I see anything, then it's there. Mark Tang just subscribed. Thank you very much. We have a new subscriber. Thank you for joining. Any chance on TA Sol? Yeah, I can do some of that in a bit. What did I have for breakfast? I had some eggs, and I had some... What did I have for breakfast? I always have eggs and some avocado and some tomatoes and mushrooms and some like Chinese sausage. Will you ever come back to Britain? Only temporarily. Here's a question. I find it really hard to scalp BTC, although I'm always watching NQ and ES in parallel. Do you have any good scalping strat for BTC on the 1 minute? No. I'm not scalping Bitcoin on the 1 minute anymore. If you want to scalp, this is the one I'm scalping. It's the NASDAQ. And for Bitcoin, it's day trading. It isn't even good scalping environment at the moment with all the market uncertainty. It is, but you've got to be, for scalping, you've got to kind of be like nowhere. Just the, like away from any major levels, outside of any bigger trends that are going on and all of that kind of stuff, which I'll cover in a minute. I'm going to do a basic overview. If we can see something that starts to form during this session, then I'll give you the basically what I would look to trade, and maybe we can open up the paper trading panel or something like that and have a look at it. Also, why are you not super tanned after so long in the sunniest part of the world? I am super tanned. I just have a bright white light on my face. I can make it that color, which is more natural. But also I'm not as tanned as I was. Definitely not. And I'm wearing a black top, which makes me look white. Anyway, next beer. We are waiting for London lows to go, basically. This is holding very good. Is that all the questions that were there? I asked you guys to like talk to me, and no one else is talking to me. 30-second time frame. We're gonna go degen mode. See what happens. We have taken internal lows. You trade gold. I did short gold a couple of days ago. Didn't go very well. I did short gold at 3,100. I got stopped out at 3,200 and whatever thing it was above the high. I really thought like, okay, it broke the parabolic advance, right? So I had this big like uptrend, steeper, broke down. I thought, you know what? Let's give it a go. Let's try a short. No, that was not the good idea. So yeah, I did trade gold. That was the first gold trade, maybe the first gold trade I've ever taken. But I lost. I lose. It was not good, but it was only a small trade. By the way, you can trade gold on a few crypto exchanges. If any of you are like, how do you trade gold? Because we have Pax G, which is this one, and it's exactly the same. Follows gold. Pax G USDT. The Bybit one's kind of terrible, no liquidity. But if you trade on Hyperliquid or on BTCC, it's a lot more liquid than this. But you don't have the charts on TradingView. So just use the CME contract or the COMEX one or whatever, and use that. Do your TA from that and trade on Hyperliquid or BTCC. I'm surprised people are using BTCC now. It's the oldest derivatives crypto futures exchange in the world, and I never really knew anyone that was using it before. If anyone wants to use it, if anyone wants to, because they have stocks on there, they have derivatives of all sorts of stuff. It's a good platform. They've done a lot of improvements, but they're based in London, and I do have a link if anyone wants to trade on there and give them some volume. And you get a discount on fees and stuff. It's not a link I've ever used, I don't think, but yeah, I do have one. This is a whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of absolutely nothing. The good thing with Pax G is that it depeg upwards. Nene, welcome. Did it? Is it? I just trade it based off of the CME or the COMEX chart, and I don't know. It seems close enough to me. What is the difference? So where is this now? 3258 and Pax G 3270. But that's the Bybit chart and it's super liquid. Binance. Yeah. This one's better. It's close enough. Weird that BTC and ETH is pumping-ish now. I mean, they've been showing strength against equities for a while, right? And I'm not going to say that I finally think that this could be the low, but we got to be close to it at the very least. I'm expecting more chop, and maybe we come down and take these lows. We do have pretty poor lows, and I still wanted it to go below 72. But I really, really do think that this is just... It's a good time to be getting back involved. It's a really good time to be getting back involved because I can't see this going that much lower. Really. Ah, there we go. We've got some movement. So we didn't take out the lows for London. Do we have anything? That could be interesting. Oh shit, I unplugged my camera. Ah! I knocked the camera lead out, hold on. Hey, back. Okay. If you expect NQ to be internal for some time, do you think the same for BTC, like range 75 to 85k, for example? Look like Daniel from CC early days. I don't want to look like that. Right, NQ. So the thing is, Nasdaq is it's at the moment it's more volatile than Bitcoin, and the same with the ES. It was the same yesterday. So we did limit down. We limit down on NQ. I don't think it hit the stop breaker on ES, but we did on NQ. So you're looking at basically like 7% swings at the moment, very close to. So last week it was really close to, and that was when Bitcoin was holding up really well. Yesterday we hit the stop, the limit down stop breaker. What that thing, man? I can't think. But then there was this 2-minute timer thing that went off, and it didn't actually like pause trading, but we did hit it for the first time since COVID, finally, yesterday. This volatility, I think, needs some time just to die down a little bit, or just maybe some chop. But Bitcoin has been showing really good strength here. Okay, yes, we had that drop on Sunday into Monday. And yes, we came down and tested the lows again. But we're back inside this little range that we've been in. We're not down that much. This is the same correction almost exactly as what we saw last year, right? It's 30% correction. We're not down that much. And we've seen really good strength. So if this was, the NQ basically is like down here at like 40K because it came down and took out previous like major lows. And that's going to take some time to heal. But with Bitcoin, it's actually quite strong. It doesn't feel like it because, of course, a lot of us have altcoins in the portfolio and have been trying to long ETH and whatever else there is. But so much stuff is actually like looking really quite good, especially Bitcoin right now. So if we do go for some kind of this just consolidates for a little bit and then maybe we go up again afterwards, I think we could see that Bitcoin does fairly well from that. And I'm not saying like we're gonna just melt up, because that will happen when maybe there's a bounce from equities and things are looking a little bit better over there as well. But I'm feeling a break, at least of this downtrend is fairly imminent. And yeah, okay, of course, I'm still looking for 72 to 68 to be tested at some point. That would be nice. That would be when I go in with a bit more size. But if it doesn't, then this could unwind and could end up being back towards the highs relatively quickly. So yeah, the strength we've seen is quite nice, and we're seeing it again today, right? We've had quite a big move down on the NQ, and Bitcoin is just not really following these moves down. All right, this almost came down towards the London lows, and the London lows on BTC are over here, and the NQ came all the way like very, very close to it. So we're not really following the moves down at the moment. And as soon as there's any kind of bounce, like Bitcoin, at least Bitcoin is doing quite well. So it is interesting. There's still nothing really to talk about on this New York Open here. Beer is good. Why did I not drink beer for a month? Tiger. Nearly a year, no alcohol now. Well done. I was kind of thinking maybe I would stop drinking until my birthday in May and then see how it goes after that, but I've caved. I've caved already. I also have a vape in front of me. This is the problem with Asia, is it's like everyone smokes here and I don't like smoking. But I got this thing. And every time I come to Malaysia, I end up like using it. Luckily, they're banned in most countries in Asia, so I don't use them very often. But man, every time I come to Malaysia, every time I come to Kuala Lumpur, I end up doing this. But it actually helps me to work more, so whatever. Blueberry vape is the best. This one is oolong tea. But I cannot become addicted to it. I would hate that. But because I'm so ADHD and my attention span is shorter than a goldfish, it actually helps me to work. But I only take I get it out when I drink. Right, let's see if these highs go. Previous day highs. Nothing happening here really, is there? Problem is, where I live is parties every day of the year, so I had to put a pin in it. That is part of the reason why at the moment I'm just staying in Malaysia, at least for the next month, because it's great. Like, you can party. There's like Kuala Lumpur can be crazy. So they've got this whole area where it's just like club after club after club after club after club. And if you go there on a Friday night, and you walk around there, it's just like people just passed out everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. But overall, it's kind of boring. And that's what I want at the moment, just to be able to focus on work and stuff is just boring. When I was back in England, a few beers a week was no problem. Yeah, where are you now, Mucky? Where are you living now? How do you handle working memory issues with ADHD? I frequently forget the context and have to rechart often. You've seen my charts, right? My charts are a mess. And if you look in here, it's like stuff like this. I'll do a live stream or I'll do a trading room and there'll just be shit everywhere. And then the next day I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I have to just delete everything. It's like looking at this NQ chart as well. Like it's all over the place, right? There's just, I mean, I've cleared a lot of it up, but having all these positions and everything like that, I'm just so unorganized that, yeah, very often I'll just have to be like, right. And this happens every time I go live, like every time I do a trading room, every time I'm like actively trading, every time I do a live stream, it will just become like such a like massive mess of just so much stuff on the chart that I'm just I can't think where I am anymore, and I just have to delete it all and just start again. And that's why I don't have like, I can't keep consistent folders of like, okay, here's the high time frame levels, here's our fib levels, this is that, this is our previous day levels. This is why I can't keep track of everything. I just need to clear it and then redo it, and then clear it and then redo it, and then clear it and redo it, and it sucks. But that's just how it is. That's how my brain works. But it's quite nice because it allows me to, I mean, maybe see things that I wouldn't see otherwise, right? You start with a clean chart, or you just have a load of mess, or you just looking at things and you start to recognize patterns. That's what I've always been good at, and that's why like the way that I trade is a little bit weird. I'm just figuring things out. I'm trying things and like, oh, this works. Let's start to journal it, and doing it that way. Nothing has happened. If I go on a 1 minute, this is really disappointing. Nothing is. We've had really clean setups throughout Asia and London, and nothing is happening here. Bucky, you're in Barcelona. Nice. I like Barcelona. Should we chart some stuff higher time frame? I'm going to place an alert on the London highs. But again, expecting another inside day. Like even this, I don't think it was tradable because you kind of went through it. Could have been a long around here. You then impulse through it, close above this breaker. You have a little gap. You trade all the way down to the bottom of it. It could have been a place in which to look for a long, but then you're looking at those London lows just below. You probably would have thought that they would get taken. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything so far today. It's not taking the highs. ETH's not doing anything. Okay, let's look at Solana, because someone asked about that. Who asked about Solana earlier? Solana is good. I'm long Solana at the moment. So Sol, I am long from below $100. Just underneath. So basically, $100 is a big psychological level. And I don't really think there was too much else there with this. But it was just a case of, okay, you ran a load of stops. You had this monthly level. Of course, we could still trade down into this if we go into bear market, right? We had this monthly level. It's been kind of an SR flip in the past, and I think psychological levels are really important because we did top out at 300. We would then come down to 100. And just taking out these, because we just had this low, these lows, and you just didn't take them out like back in March, but then again we did do it here. And also it was the Sol BTC chart that actually made me enter this trade, not the USD chart. So it was just when we were dropping on Sunday night, Monday morning, that I just thought, right, Solana's gone below $100. I'm going to buy it. And the main reason for that was just because it dipped into this big gap that we have down here on the Sol BTC pair. Now the Sol BTC pair has been really, really nice because you had this move up, of course, throughout this cycle so far. Coming up into the 618, taking out these highs, coming into that weekly gap. And we drew this, like this was back a year ago, right? That's my birthday. So that was my birthday last year. We were drawing this. And we were saying, right, I want to see Solana come back down into this zone down here. You've had it as previous resistance. Okay, you break, it was support, it breaks down its resistance, it breaks through its support. And then we're looking to trade into this gap down here, which can then give us some kind of macro high time frame support. And I just stumbled across this chart. Like I wasn't really looking at it very much. I wasn't that interested. Like I don't like Solana. But the fact that we came down and traded into this level, and it was on one of those days where everything's just falling apart and everything looked like shit, it just seemed like a really, really good place to buy it. Now, realistically, you can be looking at this as like, okay, from a Sol BTC perspective, you're looking at this to take the highs, and it's a 4R. All right, so I do believe that this has a good opportunity to outperform Bitcoin if we get another move higher within this cycle, and I do still think that's a pretty good possibility for that to happen. In which case, we're looking at Solana maybe going up to like $1,000 later on this year. So if you can go long at $100 and you end up at $1,000, it's happy days. Now, the USD pair is not showing too much. All right, it does have this. It's got like, all right, a support here, a support here. We're trying it again. Not a huge amount going on. We do have its all-time VWAP, and that's currently at $80. So if this does chop around any longer and this starts to just come up here, like through the next few months, then of course, yeah, that can give us some support as well. But $100 as a psychological level to start getting into a low leverage position seems pretty good to me. So that's all I really have on Sol. I don't really have anything else. Does it? Imagine having to lower the tick size for altcoins and not Frankie. Yeah, it's crazy that the volatility. Is there a chance to long this? I don't think so. Maybe. Can we have a look at layer 0? It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I feel like it's put in its low if BTC doesn't shit the bed. Yeah, layer 0. Is that one that I'm in? Have I been? It's not. But I like this chart. So yeah, very, very, very simply. Downtrend. Okay, you didn't take out its like launch level lows. We extended significantly below the range that it was in after it came up to that like 1.618. You break through, and it's then just been having this kind of long drawn out corrective move. That was an impulse to break out. All right, so here's a downtrend. You have an impulse, you've changed your market structure. So downtrend, high, low, high, low, high. Hold on. This is a maybe long. Because we haven't taken out London lows, probably wouldn't have taken it. But I want to watch it and see if it looks interesting. Nope. Just gonna see what this close says. Cheeky. Nah. If this does something like this and drops back in, maybe. I still want to see some kind of liquidity taken. Anyway, back to zero. It's a nice looking chart. So you had the downtrend, high, low, high, low, high, low, 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 high, low, 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 blah, 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 and you break the high that took the low. Now what you've got here is a nice impulsive move up, the highest volume that it's had since the close to the reversal previously. Okay, you've dipped into it, you've held. And now you're consolidating here. So what is it saying on these lower time frames? Yesterday held really well. Again, you got a local downtrend going on. You didn't take out these 4-hour lows, but on the daily it did. VWAP is probably above where it is right now. Yeah. So you're below that, but you're running below it within like one standard deviation, which is okay. From a fundamental perspective, I like zero anyway. And if you're looking at like a long and you're thinking, right, okay, that looks like it's a decent break, you've got some kind of bump and run type of thing going on there, and you think you can make new highs, then it's a decent trade to take. And it's one that I think DCAing into doesn't look like a bad idea. But of course, it really depends on what the rest of the market's going to do. So has Bitcoin found a low? Has this been performing better than Bitcoin recently? So if you look at ZRA BTC, is it showing strength? Again, maybe. So you have this downtrend and it's broken and you're holding support. So yeah, so it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. So if we do start to get a bigger reversal here, this could be one of the ones that performs really well. It's a big if at this stage. So, I mean, if it does dip lower into this, if it, on dip days, if you see this like do better than what Bitcoin's doing, what Ethereum's doing, what some other stuff is doing, then I think it's a good opportunity to buy. On one of these up days like today, it's probably not the best idea, but maybe yesterday would have been a good point to buy it. And of course at like over the weekend or earlier on this week. Yeah, interesting. Almog, BTC. Yeah, I mean, I covered BTC already. We're a little bit in no man's land. So we can see what's happened so far this month. All right, you had this big move down. This was whatever happened on that day. All right, fake out thing. I can't remember anymore. Stuff's going too crazy. Something happened then. This candle here was the fake news thing, right? Or was that last week? No, that was this week. Anyway, you have this breakdown, this fake out resistance, you drop over the weekend. And then you have a situation whereby you've got this, like, again, another pretty large impulsive candle down, forms another gap. You close above it, but liquidity never really taken it. Okay, this was almost a wickless candle. So you did come up and take out these, but as soon as you get this close above, you're expecting almost these highs to go. It didn't happen. We came down and then we tested into an order block and 4-hour gap, and we also just retraced the whole move up that we had during this, like, CNBC fake tariff pause, whatever thing it was. The reaction we've had today is really nice. I'm still expecting this to chop a little bit more. We have a big downtrend that we've got to get out of. I'm very much open to this being the low. We've seen double bottoms like this being put in before, but we just need to see a little bit more. If it can get back to like 86k and we can start trading back up there again, then that starts to look really good. Other than that, yeah, I'm just thinking this trades within a range here. If we go down 72, cool. That's kind of where I wanted it to go anyway. If it doesn't happen, then we just need to wait for another opportunity to get into a trade. So overall, like, Bitcoin's like, it's a weird one. And you look at the 30-minute time frame as well, and it's been going like MPOC to MPOC. So you had one up here. All right, this is equal. So the volume POC was here. You came into a volume point of control. And you've been just moving around, filled the single prints yesterday, got a decent bounce. Books are incredibly thin. A lot of what's going on at the moment is just market orders. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just waiting to see. I'm just studying, seeing what's going on. It's very weird conditions. Hey, look at that. There we go. That little trade idea is playing out. Yeah, weird. Everything's weird. I like this though. I like this chart. 0. There's some others I like as well. Tau. Ooh, Tau's pumping. I don't have too much to say on that, but I like Tau. I'm in a long. Render. You swept these lows, immediate recovery, looks decent, but everything's still just waiting. Fartcoin. I've already done Fartcoin. I did that right at the beginning of the stream. Tron. It's ridiculous, but Tron looks good. Okay, it's just been chilling. Sideways. Not really bothered by anything else that's going on. Poked out of this little downtrend it's been in. So I am looking for it could be a slow burner, but I think Tron has a good opportunity just to start climbing. What else? RSR. This is one from the previous cycle. Seems to have a new lease of life. This is another one I've got a small... Ondo is an interesting one because that just got listed on Binance. This isn't going to load. Internet shit. There we go. RSR. It's kind of like the structure. It's just this invest head and shoulders kind of thing again. So you got a bunch of stuff that's just real basic, but room to run into above. And so it's just looking at the things that have been holding really well throughout all the uncertainty. Okay, this put in a low a long time ago, and a lot of other stuff's gone much lower since then. So you're looking at things that have been holding well in comparison to what Bitcoin and Ethereum and what the rest of the market's been doing, and you start to find these structures, and this starts to look pretty good. So RSR I'm interested in. Yeah, Ondo is just because it got the Binance listing today. But again, looks nice. Look at this chart. What do you see? This is the lowest imbalance that's like left anywhere, unless you go all the way back to, no, it is the lowest imbalance left anywhere on the chart. That's it. There is nothing lower. All right, that was filled. This one was filled. So that's it. And you're incredibly close to the lows, so it becomes a very cheap trade to look at that as an invalidation. You're of course still in a downtrend, so you want to see this do more. But if you just connect that from the first highs, it's poking out, and a lot of these things are poking out. So there's life again. And that's kind of why I wanted to go live, because I'm seeing life. I'm seeing signs of life. I'm seeing opportunity. It's been the first time for a long time that I'm really seeing opportunity. XRP. Fair. Again, one of those situations where it's just holding. Yeah? Despite everything that's going on, it's just holding this range. And this is a range since it's been in since the whole SEC decision from last year. It's just holding this range. You've swept the lows. You've made a higher low. You've not yet made a higher high. So it's internal. Everything's just internal here. So you can expect compression, right? You can expect compression, but it's pretty steep, this one. So if you can start to break again, it looks good. It looks good, but it's still work to do. All right. You've put in the higher low. You've not yet put in the higher high. So it remains in the downtrend. Unless it gets back above like $2.20. And then maybe you look for an opportunity to buy this. If this was to do something like this, don't know if it will, but if you were going to get a break, takes you into here, retrace, continuation, that would be good. All right, you've got imbalance, 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 and then you go for the new highs again. So a lot of stuff looking like this, but it's still early. We're just seeing potential for a reversal, but that's all it is at the moment. I think I'm going to wrap this up because my brain's not really working. I got to get this more consistent again. I'm going to start to get a bit more structure to these streams, but I will say thank you very much for everyone who joined. And yeah, unless anyone else has anything else they want to say, then I will call it there. Potential until Trump says something bad again. Yeah, of course things can get worse, and if Trump's in office, then anything can happen. But come on, the tariffs was the climax to it. If anyone's in the crew, I've spoken about this in depth. I was talking about this when the inauguration happened. I was like, the first 100 days is going to be a shit show. And he's going to look for problems to solve. And the mandate that he has is pretty extreme. Americans, you voted for it. And yeah, it's going to cause issues, like big problems for the first like 100 days or so. And we're 100 days into it. We're 100 days into the year. Like, I think today is the 100th day of the year. And the inauguration was like 16th, right? And this was like on the day of it. I was like, first 100 days, it's going to be a shit show. He's going to create problems, then he's going to solve them. And I think now we're going into Q2. We've had that 100 days out of the way. You've got midterm elections coming up in November. This stuff will not still be going on in November. Because the Democrats are going to get hammered if it does. So, like, yeah, we may not have seen the low on the charts and things could still go lower because the volatility is there and there could be some carry trade going over. But I think now we're looking at fixing and unwinding the damage that's been done so far. And actually a lot of what's been happening has been like working. It's been saving American money. It's been doing all of this. It's been pulling the dollar down. So it's actually saving in terms of the US debt, they're making a massive saving from all of this. And they're able to inside trade it. So yeah, like one tweet and he can just move the market. But what we've seen, and this is the great thing about the fake news that's been coming out recently, it doesn't matter if the news is fake or not, because if it can get rid of enough short positions and it can become an expensive trade to short it back down again, which is what we've seen, and then we just start to get this compression going on and the volatility starts to die down, that's actually a good thing. And then the real news starts to come out and then you start to get the recovery. It's very similar to what we saw on Bitcoin in October of last year. We had this fake news about the ETF, squeezed out the shorts, and then we got continuation when the real news came out. So yeah, I think we're very close to a fundamental low, but of course it doesn't mean that price can't go lower a little bit, but a fundamental low. And yeah, that's just my thought. And we're seeing deals being made and we're seeing all of this kind of stuff and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I'm not going to rant. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you get on with the rest of your day. Have a great day, everyone. And I will see you on the next stream, hopefully very, 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 very soon. Bye-bye.